Welcome, Dragon Brawlers 2 Players Guild! My name is Loki, and I am joined by our Prince Charming, Prince Penton.
Oh, good. I don't know what sound a pentan makes. Squawk, squawk, squawk. I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, improv is not my game, but
Ah,
Dragon Ball Supercard game is, and we're here to talk to you about one of my favorite forms, Super Saiyan 4 GT Goku. This is a really interesting deck. Because it's potentially starting at 48 cards.
yes.
So let's break down this leader for everybody.
So, when it's placed in the leader area, you can send up to one each of Android's 20 Vengeful Alliance and Dr. Mew Vengeful Alliance from your deck to your warp. So you start at 48. When this card attacks, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 1 green Saiyan card among them to your hand. And then shuffle your deck. Nice tutor for Saiyans. Don't think there's any Earthlings involved in the deck, or pure Earthlings at least. When your life is 4 or less, or when you have 2 or more energy while there are 2 or more Goku GT cards in your warp, you draw 1 card and switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode, and add cards from your life until you have 6.
Yeah, it's fair.
So having 2 energy while there are 2 or more Goku in your warp is actually very easy for this deck. You just need to draw 2 Gokus, and turn 2 you can awaken.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's nice. It's consistent. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
Um.
So why
So
do
yeah,
we say it's going to happen? Why is it so easy to put Goku GT in your warp?
let's
Uh,
let's explain it.
so we're going to talk about Dr. Mew and Android 20 that we've seen in the last video on Super 17 because they work kind of with both. This time we're going to concentrate what do they do with Goku GT. Starting with Dr. Mew. On permanent, if your leader is a green Goku GT card and this card is in your warp, you cannot play non-green battle cards. I was thinking, why is this here and why is it important? And I understood. You can't overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't overwhelm, you can't just put your Goku GTs in your drop and then overwhelm.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you get to play them from the warp, spoiler alert. And then they go to the drop, so you can't put them in the warp again. And then we have Android 20 Vengeful Alliance, which limit 1 if your leader is a green Goku GT card. And you have both this card and Dr. Mew Vengeful Alliance in your warp. And you send 1 green Goku GT from your hand to your warp. At the start of your main phase, you draw 1 card. Lets you see additional card every turn. And warping that green Goku GT from your hand is not actually losing a card because you do get to play them from the warp. So essentially, this deck draws 2 cards a turn.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is amazing consistency, and I think a lot of people are going down on it because there's a lot of words that explain how this deck works.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through that when we hit that wall. But I think the deck is actually deceptively good.
I am of that opinion too. So let's talk about Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku betting it all.
Yes.
Order once per turn when a pan card or a card with GT in its character name, both green and without Son Goku GT, is placed from your battle area in your drop area. Add it to your Z energy from your drop. Nice.
I think this is amazing, and this is the wording that we are talking about. It needs to be a GT character, green GT character that's not Goku GT. And a lot of people have a problem with that. Oh, I can't just use my good Gokus and things like that. I need to run through hoops. No, it's essentially saying it can be Goten GT, it can be Vegeta GT, it can be Gohan GT, it can be Pan GT, it can be Videl GT technically. Yeah, that's a check for a Saiyan. So
yeah.
this is what it's saying. It just can't be Goku GT because Goku GT is the savior who comes to save them. So he can't save himself.
Exactly. When you swing, you draw a card standard.
Yeah.
End of your turn, choose up to one of your Android 18 Z battle cards and switch it to active.
That is curious.
It's curious, but obviously it's thematic with.
Yeah.
It's Goku 18 who fights Super 17 if
Yeah.
you've never seen the battle. Next up,
we have Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Stygian Journey, which is the 4-drop rare. With 2 specified green, 15,000 power unique. While you have an Android 18 card in play, this card gets 5k power. When this card is
Nice,
played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. It's really nice.
nice.
It doesn't check for the
Doesn't get
cost.
around. Yep, no cost, but it doesn't get around barrier.
Yeah.
Which you know what? That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's fine.
Also, that Android 18 card can be any card.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be green.
Doesn't need to be Z battle or anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
activate
really nice.
main, limit 1, pay 1 green if you have 3 or more energy, and there are 3 or more pan cards and all cards with GT in their character name, all green and without Son Goku GT in your Z energy battle area and or drop, play this card from your warp. And this is where people have a problem. You need to have 3 cards there, but it's not unusual for us to have 3 cards somewhere. It can be anywhere. Drop, battle, or Z energy. And even if they go from the battle area, very often they're just going to go back to the Z energy. You can just be defensive and Z charge stuff, and it's going to work, and you get to draw 2 cards every turn. I don't think this is a problem. I like that it's a limit 1 because A, it's very powerful removal, and B, it gets played from the warp. So you can keep it safe from the hand destruction.
Yeah, really good point. And yeah, like I said, it can just come out of nowhere. I don't, as people agree. I agree with you. Sorry. Z energy and drop. If you're filtering through your deck like decks allow you to do in Dragon Ball, you're gonna have those cards there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very easy to meet, and you only need to realistically meet it once, unless you play against Sherman Salsa or Mechikabura, which affect your drop.
Yeah, unless you're against a deck that literally like it's working to remove your the drop area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think you're perfectly fine there, and then you just have. It doesn't matter if there's Z energy, battle area, or drop, because even if they go from the battle area to the drop, or from Z energy, if you use them to pay the cost, you don't need to suddenly keep that amount of Z energy. Another SS4 Son Goku to Hell and Back. A free drop, a 15,000 power. While you have Android 18 card in play, this card gains critical. And it plays itself exactly the same way from your warp by paying 1 green and all the same requirements, 3 or more energy, etc. And activate battle limit 1 if your leader is green Goku GT. And one of your green Android 18 Z battle cards is in battle. Use this card from your warp in a combo. Which is cool.
It's an extra 5k. It can then go into Z energy.
Exactly. You get to charge. You get to play another Android 18 if you have to, if you need that additional Z energy, or you can play it as a critical. Like, I would prefer this skill on the guy that gets 5k power, and on this one to have a removal. You know, crit and removal. So you always want to play the card. Because here is the choice: you either play the card or you don't. You combo it.
Yeah.
And I think crit attacker is a very, very scary thing to have. Even if it's just a 1 drop 15k.
Yeah, 1 drop 15 crit swing, like you've got to deal with that.
Yeah. It's very easy to deal with because you just need to remove Android 18, but there's not that much interaction during your opponent's turn. But of course the deck is still suffering from the fact it's green.
Yeah.
So it's playing against 21 is going to be painful.
Yes. Next up.
Son Goku and Android 18, vital teamwork.
So I absolutely adore this SR. It's a 6 drop with 2 specified greens, 0-5, 20k base, deflect, dual attack. If your leader is a green Son Goku GT card, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when it costs less than or equal to the number of mono green Saiyan cards in your drop and KO it. I don't know why it needs to be that specific. I think just killing something would have been fine, considering it's there on lower rarity cards.
On the 4 drop, isn't it?
Yeah. Auto. I mean, it's nice, but you know, I'd prefer just nice removal. Auto limit 1. When this card attacks, your opponent chooses one of their unisons with a specified cost of 3 or less and places it in their drop. If they don't place if they don't place a card in their drop, they discard a card from their hand.
Yeah. So they either need to. So they don't have an option if they have a.
They
unison.
don't have the choice.
Yes.
If there's a unison, they have to put it in a drop.
If it costs
regardless
3 or
of
less.
markers.
If it costs 3 or less.
Yes.
But
so for like Spaceship GT, I'm thinking like, when you've got 11 markers, it's like, no. Bye bye.
I would prefer that first skill to ignore barrier, then it would make sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I'd be okay if that first skill ignored barrier as well. I think that makes sense. And then obviously activate main, limit 1, pay 2 green if you have 3 or more energy, and a green Z battle card in play its card. Fair.
We haven't seen the Z battle cards yet, which I think are further down. And next,
It's I really like it. I just think it's a really nice SR.
Interesting, but it's just dual attack 20k, which feels underpowered.
Yeah.
I do hope that they have like a proper boss mon. It's nice that it can remove the unisons. Next one is Gohan, Spirit of Resistance. So it's a 2-drop, 10,000 power, counterplay, pay additional green, so it's a free cost for the counterplay. Play this card, and if the battle card being played has an energy cost 4 or less, place it in its owner's drop instead. And then permanent, if your leader is a green Goku GT card and a green Goku GT card is in your warp, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. And he's Gohan GT.
So it is a 2 cost. Yeah.
And when this
2 cost to counterplay 4 drop. I think that's fair.
Yeah. And when this card is played, draw 1 card and choose 1 card, up to 1 of your opponent's unisons, and remove a marker from it, which is also quite nice because it replaces itself, it removes whatever would be played, and then removes markers from unisons.
Yeah, like if it gets it, it gets it. Nice. If it doesn't, you still replaced itself and stopped a card coming into play.
Exactly.
Like, card's objectively good. Also, it's a green. It's a GT card. So once it's on the board, it's going to be either in your Z energy or your drop, and then it's going to count towards that.
Yeah.
The count towards the activate main requirement.
Yeah. Towards your Gokus.
Yes.
Then we have Son Goten, Spirit of Resistance. 2-drop, 10,000 power. If your leader is a green Goku GT and a green Goku GT is in your warp, reduce the cost by 1. So it's a 1-drop 10k. When this card is played, draw 1 card and choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with cost of 1 and KO it. I don't think that KO is going to come in often, but just drawing a card is nice. And if your leader is a green Goku GT, when you add this card to your Z energy, draw 1 card and discard 1 card from your hand. That's important because the leader can add him from the drop to your Z energy.
Yes. And if you need to get other things into your drop and stuff, this really helps you do that. So, yeah, okay, it's a 1-for-1, not the end of the world. But the fact is, this allows you to enable those players a lot quicker than you might normally have to.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Vegeta, Spirit of Resistance, another GT character. A 3-drop 20k. If your leader is green Goku GT, for each green Goku GT in your warp, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 1, so it can go down to 1 cost. Limit 1 when this card attacks, draw 1 card, discard 1 card from your hand, and choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with cost 4 or less and KO it. I don't hate this.
No, it's a nice little bit of damage there.
And then pay 1 green if your leader is green Goku GT. When this card is used in a combo, choose 1 of your green Saiyan cards, and it gains double strike for the battle.
So this pairs really nicely with the critical.
That pairs nicely with a double strike crit. It gives that 5k combo power as well, right? So it's like a mini Champa. You make a 20k double strike critical. But one of the first turns might be difficult to stop.
Yeah, I would have liked it with the 5k to have been for the turn to get the double strike, because then that would have really boosted up the SR. But I also know why they didn't. So it's a nice little tech, right? It's on theme for your deck. It's gonna help you hit those numbers where Champa is off color, and it's a good card, but it's off color and it's not gonna help you with those numbers. So having this there, and it's only a 5k difference, I think is really smart.
Yeah, I think this is a generally good card, because unlike with Champa, you're then not stuck into not being able to use this card in combo if you don't have energy.
Also that, yeah. Like, plenty of utility, can see energy. Exactly. Like, yeah, I think this is a really solid piece for the deck, yeah.
And of course, it's a GT character that's not Son Goku.
Exactly. So always progressing towards that goal, which again is why we don't think it's that much of a problem that the cost is.
You have lots of really useful cards that draw you tons of cards, and I think there's also that thing that at the moment we've seen 3 Gokus that you can warp using Muse effect, and you have 48 cards in the deck. Because that 6-drop is still Goku GT, you can warp it if you don't find a use for it immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
That Goku 18. You can warp it if you want to because it's a Goku GT. Green Goku GT.
Ah,
So you
yeah.
have at the moment 12 cards in the deck that you can warp very easily.
Yeah, that's
Out of
pretty cool.
48. Come on, you're
Yeah,
going to see it.
yeah. The way this game plays, you're going to see those pieces. It's
Exactly. And drawing 2 cards every turn is tasty.
very tasty.
Yeah, Piccolo showed us how good that was, right? On that leader,
Hmm.
Surge leader.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the Z leader. If you want to take it.
Yep. Found it. The full strength Kamehameha. So it's a 1Z energy, 1 energy when your life is 4 or less. Green Son Goku GT. Discard 1 green card from your hand. When this card attacks, draw 2. So standard affair we've seen where you pitch 1, you get 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's draw 2, then ditch 1. It is what it is. Also, once per turn, if it's your turn, when your opponent uses a combo, place up to 1 card from your opponent's combo area in its drop. I love seeing this on green.
Yes, this was very cool green mechanic from set 4, I think.
Yeah, combo killer, analyzer. Yeah. And then also does the Bardock Unison.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's a nice little trick that green does have. Activate main once per turn. Switch one of your Android 18 Z battle cards to rest mode. Use all of your opponent's battle cards with blocker, ignoring barrier, and KO them. This card gets 5k per turn. So thematically, this is very much designed to counter the Super 17 deck. But I actually think this is actually huge. Other matchups, again, like the Trunks Cheetah. There was another deck that I've had in mind, and now I've just completely blanked on it. But there was another deck that used blockers. Like, this is huge. I actually love the ability to get round barrier with this.
Maybe like blue decks that use the 6-drop Vegeta, because you just KO them.
Yeah, that doesn't have barrier anyway, though.
Yeah, but you just board wipe them from all their blockers.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
And giving the leader 5k power for the turn is also quite cool. But we do need to see first Android 18, the Z battle card, and it's not the next card. The next card is Son Goku Golden Dragon Fist. 4-drop 4 specified green. 25,000 power and 2 green Z energy. 2 Z energy. While there are 3 or more cards that are Pan or GT but not Goku GT in your everywhere, this card gains double strike and dual attack. Very easy to meet.
Mm-hmm.
When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Very nice. And activate main, limit 1, pay 2 green, and if your leader is a green Goku GT Z leader, you have 4 more energy. And you choose one of your green Goku GT cards with cost of 3 or more. Play this card from under an Android 18 card on top of the chosen card in active mode.
Yeah. So you can already get your swing in. Like this
is scary.
Yeah, this is like you really can push in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this deck has an explosive kill turn, and it reminds me of the old Dash leader Green Goku, where that could just pop off in one turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're not ready for it, it will hurt you.
Yeah, because even if you already had one of those on board, you can still play another one the next turn, because it's limit 1, but it's not unique, and you can also play it on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that, but yeah.
Yeah. It's also quite a big body because it's 25k. There's only one problem with this. The deck is green.
Deck is green. Yeah. True.
It's Android 21 suddenly makes all the blue and green board presence strategies bad.
Yeah. Like it's definitely something you have to be cognizant of when you take this to a tournament.
Moving on, we have Android 18 Z battle card. If you want to take this one for a change.
Yeah. And there she is. Raffle Strike.
Yeesh.
A 1 cost with 2 Z energy. Unique barrier Z stack 1. During your turn, while there are 2 or more Green Son Goku GT cards in your warp, she gets 6k. So she's a 10k. She's literally there just to rest and then
play the 4-drop we've just seen from underneath her.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Majority of the matchups, that barrier is amazing. And then you play against Android 21, and it doesn't matter. You can never play this Android 18 unless you're going to play her Z stack and immediately use that Z stack to that Goku that was Z stacked to play it.
Mm.
And that's sad that you're forced into playing, and that's also dependent on your opponent not having counterplays or having counterattacks.
Yeah, that's very true. It's a very straightforward kill turn with not much protection in there.
Yeah. We have Pan, Spirit of Resistance, which is our 4 life or less super combo.
It's fine.
But it's a Pan super combo. I don't think we have another green super combo that would fit in with the GT. I might be wrong.
Ooh. I feel like set 5 did have a... Maybe? No? Maybe. I don't know. Wait, because they introduced sparking combos, so there's Trunks GT, right? Wait, was it Trunks GT? Now I can't remember set 5.
I don't remember.
Let us know in the comments below if you remember.
Next one is Trunks.
But yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Next up we have
Trunks, Spirit of Resistance. So again, it
I can't find it, so take it.
2-drop with 10,000 power, but it reduces its cost down to 1 if you have Goku GT leader and Goku GT in your warp. While you have 4 more energy, it has blocker. Okay, and limit 1 when you play. Draw a card. What? Why does it have it on limit 1?
So you just dropping 4 blockers in one turn?
Okay, but that's still spent 4 energy to do that.
I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird restriction to have.
Yeah. Okay. Skillless Oob. Oob was a cool character. Shame he never really got the spotlight.
I know. I'm still one day. Like he'll come into his own. Maybe, hopefully. I don't know.
Then we have
and then Android 18.
Yes.
For the sake of family, a 1-drop, 1 specified green. When she's played, search the top 5 for a green Saiyan with a cost of 4 or less and add it to your hand, shuffle it through it. Okay. Or just actually shuffle your deck this time. Also, limit 1, if your leader is a green Son Goku GT Z leader, when this card is used in a combo, it gets plus 1k power for the battle. Which is, as we've talked about time and time again, makes all the difference.
So it's essentially a 10k defensive, isn't it?
Yeah. Very strong.
She helps you find the Gokus you need for drawing more cards, I guess, and all your other playables. So the more we've seen of the deck, I can see one problem with the deck, and it's not what everyone says. It's not the hoops that you need to jump through. It lacks a finisher.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that this is going to be a very cool deck, and because of the draw power in it, its finisher is going to be cooler. The secret.
I could see it.
It's going to be just nipping down on opponents until they're down to 2 life, and then drops a cooler. That's my guess.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see that.
We have one more card, which is Goku's Kamehameha Deflection.
Oh, my bad.
1-drop, counter-attack, limit 1, negate the attack, and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with cost 4 or less, and KO it. And if your leader is a green Goku GT Z leader, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by discarding another card from your hand.
So, I mean, on its face, right, that's just a better Shocking Death Ball. Without the
I looked at this exactly the same way.
Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that. I think that's cool.
It just keeps on going up.
Shocking Death Ball has been around since set 5. Yep. This is now set 20.
We finally power crept it.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, there are still fringe cases where you would probably pick Shocking Death Ball over it because of the sparking, so it's not like it's completely invalidated.
I mean,
so really nice little extra card to finish it off.
This one is good in only Goku GT Z leader. That's the problem, right?
I wouldn't say it's only good in there. I think there's merits for it to be played in other green decks as just a pay 1 negate the attack and maybe kill a 4 or less.
If we're going to be in a meta where you have 4-drops that attack multiple times that you can remove, or they're just scary 4-drops, like against Sin, this would be amazing.
Yeah. And it's not restricted, so I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool extra card to finish it off. I like it. Do I think it's amazing? No, but I think there's something there, and I think this is a deck that, over time, if Bandai keep to what they've been doing, could see support dripped in very easily. I like the reducing cost if you've got the Goku GT leader and playing Goku GT in the warp. I'm excited to see where this deck goes. I think right now it's not going to be the best deck in the room, but I think there's a lot of burst potential there with the Dragon Fist, the super rare, and like I said, if you want to close out with the cooler secret rare, like that's actually not a bad little idea.
Because you can do majority of the damage until turn 4, because the deck is going to be dropping a lot of stuff on turn 3.
And if you know your end game's cooler, you're not going to bother about giving them cards in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
You want them to have cards in hand, in fact.
Exactly, and you're just going to keep on pushing them. And that's just all you need to do, realistically, right? And then you draw a lot of cards, that's the thing. I think the tournament pack might have one more Goku GT, or maybe you would need to look at one of the older Goku GTs just to bring that number up a bit.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I think that's the only thing I can think about, just to get the number a bit higher, so you can always make sure that you draw 2 cards a turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our take on the Green Goku GT. They made it definitely interesting. I think they've done that before when there was a green something happening or another.
Green always has a really cool theme. It's just not been powerful enough to push through. Like the green Beerus Champa, the green Goku and Vegeta from the Saiyan Saga.
They're good thematical against each other.
Yeah. And then it's just when it comes time for the wider picture, it doesn't come together. I imagine they've got to see the feedback at this point, right? I think it's a pretty common joke amongst players is green just doesn't feel like it's got as much love. Red and blue seem to have rose to the top in recent years. In recent times after yellow was quite dominant. So, like, Bandai are pretty good. I like black. I think still in a worse place than green, but it's getting better.
I mean, let's be honest. The most oppressive decks that ever existed were Mecha Frieza, which could be any color.
Yeah.
And U3 Vegex.
Yeah.
And the Storm.
Yeah.
3 most oppressive decks in the game.
Yeah,
I think it's fine, but the problem is, and we can't discard this. Something that I mentioned in Android 18 video. All the blue and green decks are severely nerfed by existence of 21. If you have a leader that flat out negates your own design, and let's be honest, Dragon Ball is all about building boards, and you can't do that, you're not allowed to do that, then there is something wrong there.
Yeah. Android 21 is going to be a very interesting time for the game.
Yes. But yeah, I would love this deck way more if it wasn't for 21. That's my statement.
Yeah. No, and I think that is a fair way to look at it because it comes out in the same set, right? Yeah. Like same set, you have this, you have a deck that will literally thrive off of this.
Yeah, you have a deck.
In the same with the blue 18.
Yeah, exactly, and the same with Super 17, right? It's the same as we mentioned. Those blockers don't really matter because I'm just going to play my cards.
Yeah. I've given it barrier. It doesn't matter. I'm not choosing it. I'm just tapping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. That was our green wrap up. We do have one final color to go through, which is red. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for when those videos come out. We do also cover a variety of other games that we find interesting, and we'll be expanding into more video games and board games as the year progresses. I've been Scott Simon, your Guildmaster, joined by Loki Smith, your archivist, and we'll see you next time.